sharp. And I'll say it here, and I know we'll probably have an episode based on, we touched it a little bit today, about price of games, price of video games, and price of board games. Because this is kind of like a one-time playthrough. Once you know what the answers are, you're not going to play it again. And I think it's maybe like $10 or something like that, for a scenario, which I really don't mind because we had a blast playing it, and I really enjoyed playing this game. And going back to Time Stories, tomorrow night I'm going to be playing the first Time Stories expansion. It's going to be like my 6th time running that game with different groups to see how well other people do. So I think this is another game where we have so many friends and so many groups. It would be cool to see what group did better. So I'm looking forward to these games coming out, and I have a blast playing with them, and I'm glad I got the opportunity at PAX to actually see it and learn it.
And I'm not a huge board gamer. I rely on Corey specifically to tell me when he has something great and we all play it. And I don't think he's ever really failed. I don't think he's ever failed. But I know on the other end of the spectrum, he totally gets what I would like and wouldn't like. So he's like, nah, you wouldn't like that. And when I hear about it, I'm like, I don't want to play that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the Time Stories guys, man, those games are so good. They're so good. And I love how they put you in situations where, and this comes after you've played maybe one or two of the different campaigns, where it's like, if I do this thing, I know it's going to be a waste of time. But somebody else in your party is like, no, it's not. We have to try it. And I'm like, please don't do it. And
That's such a good point, Doug. Like I said, we just played the latest expansion, and we now know I'm not going there ever. I don't need to see what's there.
Nope.
We beat this so quickly. We're like, oh, that was it, because we know now that's just a trap.
Yeah, it's just a trap. You can start to see them.
Exactly.
And it's just like, man, all right, we're gonna do it, and you do it, and you lose 5 times in the game. See, and then at the end you end up losing,
right,
because somebody wanted to watch a guy dance around a broomstick. That's it. I was so mad. But yeah, man, those Time Stories guys, they make excellent board games, and $10 for that experience, I definitely would do that for sure.
Yeah.
It was a really good experience. For $10 or $15, we've all three of us have done escape rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to spend more than that to go into an escape room to do that. And yes, it's in real life and you're really walking around. But with this card game, we sat at that table and I really felt like I was in an escape room. We took each one of us took a card and read it, and we're trying to figure out what to do. And then we passed it and, hey, what did you get over there? Oh, you know what? I think this is it right here. And it really was a great experience.
Yeah, and it does take a specific group of people to be into it a lot. You know what I mean? To be able to separate that into a board game situation, to get into it that much. But it does feel that way. You really start thinking about your mind is turning as if you were at these places and you visited them, and you're trying to figure that you're trying to figure out how to win. Pretty much, I think it's great.
And just to give a heads up for the channel, when this comes out, we will absolutely be doing a taping.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we have to, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to step up.
Okay,
next.
you go.
The game that you were talking about before that you were playing with Adult Swim, that's called King's Way.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember looking at it and wondering what it was, and I was watching it, but I found it anyway. But I'm going to say my game of the show really was I love Monster Hunter. I play on PC. Monster Hunter's not on PC unless I'm in China, and I'm not playing the China MMO. So it's got to be Dauntless. There's 4 character classes right now, and you can party up with 3 other people. So there's 4 people going out and hunting a monster, and it really felt like Monster Hunter.
Is this? I think I saw a preview of this maybe a month ago or so. Is it just kind of cartoony looking?
Yeah, it's a little
Monster
cartoony.
Hunter? Like purple monsters, kind of colorful-ish? Okay.
Yes. And you're out there. I don't know how the gear works. They haven't really released too much on how you pick up gear and stuff. I don't know if you're going to be farming the Owl Beast to get the Owl Beast, armor set. But it played really well. It was like pre-alpha, so it was kind of jaggy, and it had a little bit of lag to it, but it was still fun. I mean, I played with two other people that I didn't know, and I played with Gabe, and we were talking. Like we're having a good conversation. Okay, we have to hunt the monster down. Like they still flee after like half health, and the monster had enough variation in its attacks. It was a fun game. It was a good game. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I want to play Monster Hunter, but I don't want to get it on my DS. I don't want to play a fun, awesome, colorful game like Monster Hunter on a 3.5-inch screen.
It's funny you mention that because I got so frustrated with only seeing Monster Hunter on handhelds.
Yeah.
Just the same way that I only see Pokemon on handhelds. It's the same thing. Like, why can't I get a console Monster Hunter? And like, why can't they play together? Like anything. Like, it's such a huge game that people play, especially overseas. Like, there's meetups. People go to like cafes and play this all the time. Why can't I have an online Monster Hunter for PC or console?
It's called Dauntless.
It's called
yeah.
It's called Dauntless now. So hopefully,
yes, looking forward to it.
I was looking at that game, but just from the preview, I didn't even know it was at PAX, and it looks cool. It looks cool. The way I described it was, it looks like a crappy Monster Hunter, but it also looks fun. It looks fun. I like the way that the damage shows up on the guys. Like, that's how you know it's getting hurt. The actual physical, like, you'll see scratches, and there's like an ice guy. The ice starts to pop off. So I thought it looks cool. I think it looks okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's later this year, so I'm really looking forward to that.
We'll give it a shot, I'm sure.
Awesome.
What about yourself, Mr. Douglas?
So I was walking through PAX, and I had the same experience that I had when I first saw Hyper Light Drifter, which was like you walk by something and you glance at it and you're like, hold on, let me like backpedal and take a look.
Doug, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you real quick.
Okay.
Because I think I know what you're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris and I really are interested in hearing your explanation of this.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Okay. So
go ahead.
So there's a game called The Artful Escape of Francis Vendetti. And if you just played the game and didn't talk to the guy, you wouldn't know what the hell it was about. Okay? So that's understandable. I talked to the guy a lot, and what the game is about, it's about a kid who's trying to find his on-stage persona for his band. I'm a musician as well. As a gamer, it's my second hobby. So as I'm playing this game, I walk by and I hear this, like there's like a string track in the background, and everything is like really purpley and neon, which you'll notice in our Hit Points Gaming artwork is clearly my favorite look, right? The whole retro look. So, and I was watching somebody play it, and he gets on the top of a mountain and he spawns a guitar and starts hitting like these notes that always go along with the background. Like they have it so it always harmonizes, and it creates a bridge. So now my jaw is just dropping. Like this guy is sitting here soloing on top of a mountain to make things appear. So I actually walked away. I was like, I want to come back and play this from the start. I don't want to like see the rest of it. So I go back and I start playing the game. And to me, it's funny because it's one of the problems I had with Toji Amano with the guy's flat, but the backgrounds are 3D. But in this case, I totally didn't care. I didn't care at all. You can jump, you double jump, but when you triple jump, your character takes out his guitar and shreds as he's flying through the air. And the sound of the game and the look of it to me was just like the most amazing thing ever. Like my skin was tingling playing this game because I'm a big musician. So Steve Vai is my favorite guitarist, and it sounded exactly like the type of thing that he would like solo over, like synth strings in the background. So that's the game that I'm most looking forward to. Unfortunately, like a lot of indie games, I asked him, I said, yo, when is this coming out? It was a Kickstarter game. And he's like, not anytime this year. So that means it could be 2-3 years down the line before it happens. River City Ransom Underground just came out. That was like 4 years in development, which turned out excellent, by the way. But still, man, it's a long wait. If
you want something to play while you're waiting for that game, I think this game called Simon. Simon, it would have like a red light, and you press the red button, and then blue, and you press the blue button.
It's messed
so
up.
you could play that, and it will hold you over. So
no, man.
I see what you're saying with the whole musical background. It's probably because you're really into it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what the game has to offer, though. Snots, can you backing me up?
I agree with you. I mean, it was kind of a neat idea, like it's a really rad idea. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go find who I am, my band persona. That's a gnarly idea. Let's do it. Let's shred the gnar. And then I see the game, and I don't know what I'm doing in the game.
Yeah.
I think it's because we weren't talking to the guy you were talking to. We were talking to his assistant.
Yeah.
And he was explaining the game to us, and he's like, yeah, you like look at the lights, red, blue, and then you hit them. I'm like, oh, so like Simon? He's like, just like Simon.
Okay. Yeah, and I 100% agree with that's the one part in the game is like you do exactly that. You follow like that monster, right?
Yeah.
But for me, and I've been playing games kind of like this recently, like kind of indie-ish games where it's kind of like an experience as opposed to something
right
that is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game called Naissance, which is like it's under the category walking simulator, where you're going through all these crazy environments. And it's not really a challenge, you infinite lives, whatever, but it's really cool experience. So I think that's why I just want to like really play through this. And I was talking to the guy. You can customize the main character as much as you want once it starts. And I think it's going to be a great game. It's definitely not going to be for everybody. And anybody listening, it's not. It may not be for you because the gameplay might just be hold forward and advanced dialogue. It may very well be that. But if you're like a guitarist, a musician, and you like that kind of stuff, then it's something to at least go look at on YouTube if you get a chance. Go check it out, see how you feel about it.
That's a good point. I like how you bring up an experience. And I think because we've been around the block for a long time, we've played so many games our whole lives, we're looking for experiences now. Give me something different. And this obviously struck a chord with you, so I'm glad there's people out there that want to give it a shot. So yeah,
I think it's going to be really cool. So I hope that it does well, and I hope that they succeed in getting the game out. They're under Annapurna, I think is the publisher. Mm-hmm. They had a couple games there, so I hope it all works out.
Cool.
That is the essence of PAX. I mean, like they had a little booth, and they got a lot of like sight from it. Everyone saw it. So
yeah, and
hopefully it works
funny.
out.
It was right on the end cap, so as soon as he saw a horde of people coming by, he'd crank it up, you know what I mean? And everybody would turn their hand as soon as they heard it, you know what I mean? And that's what got me to turn my head. I was like, where is this like guitar lick coming from? And I see this guy floating over a mountain, shredding his guitar. I'm like, okay, let me stop and see what this is about.
That's the essence of PAX, to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's anything else on PAX. Otherwise, that's it.
You know what? Before going to this trip, I thought that this was going to be my last PAX.
Oh, no, don't say it's so.
I felt like I was kind of like growing out of it.
Nice.
I was over the whole like standing in line, waking up early. But this was probably one of my best PAX experiences because I think we were kind of just all in that old that mindset of just like, let's just enjoy ourselves. And we were with a great group of friends, and we just had a really good time. And going to your point, Doug, you do what you want to do. We didn't all have to travel all together and do the same thing. It was just really laid back, and I think we get along really well. So I am looking forward to next year. I can't wait.
Yeah, like we totally didn't get up to go wait in the queue line.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. After the first year of that, no thanks. No thanks. You will miss out on stuff if you don't. If there's certain things you want to do, like VR clearly is like Oculus and Vive, they had like massive booths for that stuff this year, which last year it was kind of all over the place. I wanted to get into a Robo Recall tournament, what we talked about. Not even close. I showed up at 11. They were like, yeah, right. It was 11 o'clock tournament. I got there at 10:55. They were like, no way, dude. Like, it's not happening. Which I immediately realized, like, oh my God. Like, people were getting up and waiting in that queue line for hours before the show just to make sure that they had a shot. You know what I mean? to do it. So we get there at like 11 o'clock, 10:30 ish when the